Hey guys, today I'm gonna tell you why I slept in my tent for 140 days.
I've been to the motherfucking mountaintop.
But I'm gonna go back to my childhood. And one weekend, I was about 12 years old. We were on like a camping trip with my school. And when it became night, we were playing in the forest, it was dark, just hide and seek and stuff. And I came to this realization that I was really afraid of going into the forest myself. It was dark, unknown. And then I got this challenge for myself. Okay, I said to myself, you are just gonna go in there, and you're not gonna turn around, and you're just gonna go in there, and you're gonna feel this fear, and you're gonna overcome it. And then I just went in there, far away, and I felt scared as fuck. But after a while, it just released it from me. I just felt the weight lift from my chest. And since that day, I've never been afraid to be in the forest, especially in the dark. So my little journey of challenging myself started off that night, I can say. And this particular challenge started off maybe 12 months ago, when a lot of friends, I was joking with them, oh yeah man, I'm gonna sleep in my tent, They know that I do a lot of strange stuff. I eat a lot of fruit and, climb. So I was joking, yeah man, I'm gonna sleep in my tent. They were like, oh Robbie, you can't do it. It's gonna be so cold, and what are you gonna do with all your stuff? Like how are you gonna do it? Where are you gonna shower? I was like, well, maybe I can try it out. Maybe I can see if I can do it. And how it's gonna feel to push through it. So I decided that I'm gonna do it. So I started in the end of August, and I decided I'm gonna do this until the end of the year. So December. It ended up being longer. I did January 2. But I decided, okay, I'm gonna go from autumn, late summer, to winter. So I'm gonna experience it all. Heat and cold and water, rain, snow, everything. So I got rid of my apartment before that, and got rid of a lot of stuff. So basically didn't have a lot of stuff. I just had a little, like my climbing stuff, and I stored them at my mother's place. But other from that, I didn't have a lot of stuff. So I just pitched my tent where I was working, and I was working in Stockholm by that time, in the Swedish archipelago. Really beautiful. The water is amazing, so clean, nature is beautiful too. It's pretty outside of the city, so it's pretty safe. And I was so afraid in the beginning. I was like, shit, people gonna come and they're gonna destroy my tent, and they're gonna take all my gear, sleeping bag and all that stuff. But after 10 days, nothing have happened, and I started to feel more secure. And after 20 days, it was a routine for me, because I felt so comfortable doing this. And I was also saving a lot of time, because I lived closer to my work actually, because my work were out in the archipelago, because I was working with submarines. So I drew a lot of benefits that I never expected. Also, one more benefit is that my sleep was so high quality, because it was always dark, it was always quiet, and it was always fresh air, and there was no distractions. There were no outer sound. I couldn't turn on a computer, I couldn't turn on a television, and my phone was usually out of battery. So when I came to my tent, in the evenings, I was working during the day, I was climbing, training, and when I came to my tent in the evenings, it was basically sleep. So that was my rest place. So I totally redefined what a home is for me. So a home for me is a place where I rest. and I work on other places. So that was so amazing. And in the mornings I took a swim in the ocean. That was like basically how I showered if I didn't shower at work. But every morning I took a cold bath, you know, and as it came closer to the end of the year, the water became so cold, and in, you know, December, January, it was ice, so only a few spots where I could like swim and, you know, shower myself. So I was totally living like in nature in my tent. So I was, yeah, I was totally living in an urban environment, like semi-urban environment, but in my tent, and doing all this stuff, you know, fresh ice baths. And I was also training in the forest. I was doing pull-ups in the trees and stuff, like sometimes when I didn't have time to go to my climbing gym. So it started out as a challenge to myself to see if I would dare to do it, if it was possible to do it. And now I have no fear whatsoever to live in a tent. Like, and that gives me so much more courage to go for the things I want in life, to go for my dreams. Because I'm not afraid that I'm gonna lose and I'm gonna end up miserable, whatever. Yeah, so because I can always get back to my tent in Sweden, and I'm gonna have a bliss because I really enjoyed my time there. Or I could have my tent in Nepal, I could have it in Thailand, you know. It's always gonna sort out because I have released myself from the fear of not having a conventional house or a home, like a box, you know. So, and that feels so good inside of me, and that gives me a lot of happiness, like during the day, because I'm never scared. I'm not scared of anything really. More than getting run over by a car. That would be pretty nasty. Yeah, so like if you want to do these type of challenges, start out small. So maybe, you know, camp a little bit in a close park, and then you can go for a weekend camping, and then you can go somewhere a little bit further for a week, and then you can begin to really go into the wilderness, because you got to get some experience and knowledge before you do that. Otherwise it's gonna be dangerous for you. Like, I would never advise anyone to go into the jungle or go to the mountains and camp, because it can be dangerous. You gotta have knowledge. You gotta, like, you can read a lot of books, but books never give you experience. They only give you knowledge. So you gotta practice that knowledge to get the wisdom. So that's what you do. You take small steps towards your highest and most truthful dream. And I don't know what that is. I don't know. You gotta figure out what that is. And if you know, you should take small steps toward it. Because otherwise, like for me, if I'm not taking small steps towards my dream, I have less happiness in my life. So it's really important for me to take small steps every day to go to my dream. Feels good. Love nature. So really releasing yourself from all the comforts makes you comfortable. It makes you comfortable in your own skin, inside of you, because it gives you encouragement and it's empowering you, and you have control. You always feel you have to. I always feel I have control over my own life, and so I never feel dependent on anybody. I never feel that no, someone have to provide electricity for me. They're gonna provide water for me. They're gonna provide food for me. They're gonna provide shelter for me. I feel totally empowered to take care of myself. So like if there would be like a fucking zombie apocalypse right now, I would just go into the jungle or the mountains and I would survive. Maybe not for a few years, but I would survive for a while, because I have the wisdom and the experience that it takes to take care of yourself fully, like 100% take care of yourself. You know, some people talk about you gotta take care of yourself. Yeah, but you're taking care of yourself within a system that takes care of you. And there's another thing to really take care of yourself, like take care of the basic needs. You know, food, shelter, feeling comfortable, you know, not panicking, and water. So like all those things you gotta work with, and really doing this challenge can really help you to like feel that power. And you don't have to do 150 days, you can just do 1 day, and then you can do 3 days, and then you can do 1 week. If you desire to have less fear, and if you desire to feel like you have more power and control in your life, and maybe you desire to travel the world, do great adventures like ride your bike through some country or ascend some mountains, you need these basic skills of survival. You know, you can't. I see so many people, they go to Everest and they try to scale the world's highest mountain, but they have no knowledge, so they don't have any wisdom whatsoever about how to survive. Like when you read books like Extreme Alpinism, the author is talking a lot about the other stuff. He talks very little about the technical stuff and gear. He talks a lot about mental strength and like basic survival. So that's so important. So, but people forget that. People focus on. They really focus on the challenge they can see. But the more you experience, the more you can see, so you can prepare more. If you have a narrow mindset, you ain't gonna see where the danger is gonna come. So you gotta broaden your experience, so broaden your view. And that you can only do with experience. So don't sit back today, go out there in nature, fucking do it. Or just do whatever. If you don't wanna go in nature, just take one step closer towards your dream. Love you guys, stay strong.
I've been to the motherfucking mountaintop.